Welcome, kindred. It's Jessica. I'm hoping that this is working. Hang on. Oh dear. Having a few tech issues today. So we are going to be doing a journal setup. I want to try and get it so I can see, so you guys can see me, which I don't think you can at the moment. I think you're just see my journal. Oh well, we'll just do it like this. This will be fine. This will be fine. So I'm trying to stream from Zoom. Oh, there we go. So you can see me. Hi. Hi. So this is going to be a journal setup for May. It's also going to be an astrology forecast and a tarot reading as well for the energies of this moon. I was trying to do it as a stream that I'd scheduled, so I think you guys are probably all over this. I'm going to need to go into the chat of that other stream now and get that up, but I'm going to use these cards, which is Goddess of Love Tarot. I've got my honeycomb planner here. I've got a whole plate of journaling stuff that I have pulled out ready for using in this setup. And I've also created some printables, which I've made. I put these in my Google Drive and I've shared them on over in our Discord, which was linked on the original stream, but now isn't going to be linked on this stream. So hopefully somebody can drop a Discord link in the chat. So I'm going to turn my face off because it's kind of distracting me now, and I will hopefully see some of you guys over here. Now it says 3 of you are watching. So okay, so Lisa's found us. Hi Lisa. Yay. Let me take my me away from the thing so you can see close up on my journal. So I will I'll pin and then I'll unpin, and hopefully then okay, so hopefully now you guys can see my journal, which is in front of me here. I'm just going to tell the people in the chat that we're over in a different place. Trying to type and chat at the same time, which is not going too well. I promise it'll be worth it once we get this going. It's a little bit different because oh, amazing, Siren's posted. Thank you, Siren, you absolute star. Okay, good. So hopefully you guys will find your way over here to me. I'm going to try and find the chat for that new stream that is actually happening, the one that is actually going on now. And oh, you've got to just love the tech stuff. I thought it would be cool to kind of have the like the journaling stuff and be able to speak to you guys at the same time, but clearly that is not working too well. But now I'm going into the right stream, I think. Oh no, what is going on here? Oh dear, I can't get into it, but I'm hoping that you guys can see me. Let me see if I can see it over in here. Okay, people, yes. Okay, we can see my journal. Yay. Hi, Emily. Hi, Tanya. Hi, Carol. Hi, Siren. Hi, Lisa. Okay, so you guys have made your way over here, so that's great. What I can't see, which is annoying, is the chat on my, I've got my iPad to the side of me, which I was thinking that was gonna be really organized because then I could see the chat on here. But maybe I'll just flip back over here to get started. So let's actually start because the text was like discombobulated me now, but it's all good. Okay. Yeah. So I was making like live forecast videos, which I know lots of you guys did come. Hi, Catnip. And so this is still going to be like a live astrology forecast video, but it's also going to be a journal video. So I don't know if you guys are actually journaling with me. So let me know if you've got your journal out and you're going to be journaling alongside me. Like I said, I've got these printables, but you probably didn't see me say that because that was over when the stream wasn't working. So I printed some of these out. I also made it like a smaller version. This is on like sticker paper. So I'm going to use some of these to stick in my journal. So if you wanted to use these, those are linked in. Oh, hi, Lenica. Thank you so much for letting me know that you can see and hear me. It's very reassuring when your live stream is just not working properly. Thank you so much. So I'm going to pop those to one side for a minute. So what we're going to do And yeah, like I said, let me know if you're going to be journaling alongside me. Oh, Emily is. Emily's journaling. So what I'm going to do is I want to set up a quote page for May, and because I'm feeling the Taurus season vibes, I've got a really nice quote here. The body is not an apology, it is the altar of your becoming. And that is like my center piece for my kind of inspiration for this spread. And I'm also going to be using some like flower and body imagery kind of like bundled in together. I put some of that on here, but I've also got some in I've got this my sticker book here, and there's still like this book is nearly empty now, but there are some pages where yes, like this, where there's like kind of body imagery with also with flowers. And so I'm going to use some of that in part of this setup as well. Oh, Tanya's chilling. That's completely legit. Tanya, just come on, hang out and chill. That is also good. So quote page is going to be like that. Then title page, I'm going to use some of the same imagery again and just set up like a regular title page. I am going to cut, which is why I don't know if you can see, I've like penciled in where I'm going to cut this, because I like to have my months with these little like tabs so that I can find them easily. So that's going to go there. Then there's going to be a double page calendar spread. And this is where I'm actually going to put all the transits for the month. Maybe not all of them actually, but like kind of the most impactful ones. And I'm going to use my honeycomb planner for those, although I'm also going to be drawing on through this as well my May astrology forecast, which I've already got up on my blog as well, so on my grimoire pages on my blog. So there's loads of places I'm going to be pulling information from, which were all linked under the original video, but now we are not there. So I will put that in the description afterwards. But for you guys who are live, I'm really sorry. The stuff was basically in the original description. I was like feeling so organized, and it wasn't to be. And then I'm going to have a space for like the May cards and astrology, and just like a little bit of space for reflection. So there's not loads of spreads, that's basically it. But I wanted some space for us to kind of connect here as well, and like to ask questions and to think about what is going on astrologically for us as well. So that is the plan. Let's see how it pans out, whether it works out as I hope it will. Because I think it's more fun kind of doing something than just kind of like sitting and chatting through the astrology. So this is why. And I think like I'm going to be setting up my my journal pages anyway. So I was like, let's do it together. Let's do that together. So yeah, I love that quote as well. I thought it was a super powerful. Sorry, just finishing my tea. Super powerful quote. So the quote page then. So I'm going to take the slightly bigger version of the quote. This kind of messed up, so I printed out that one again. So I'm going to use this version, I think, of the quote for my quote page. And I'm going to cut it out, kind of rough cut it out. And I'm going to do some layering then with some different little bits of journal ephemera I've got around and about. The idea that I like with this printable is that if you didn't have like lots of bits and bobs, I know lots of you here do, because a lot of you guys are also in the membership where we do a lot of this journaling, and we use lots of different bits and bobs. But I have put some like a little washies. My printer's not that great, so mine have got like little stripes in it, but that would be quite cute actually along the bottom of the page. In fact, I think I might use that along the bottom of my page as well. So you can't quite get the torn edge, but if I just cut around it, it'll be fine. If I might cut straight through it on that last bit. Hey, Millie. Yeah, Tanya, I hope that I am recording it. I hope, in theory, it should stream it live and then it should still be available to watch afterwards. But, who knows? It should do. It normally does. When I do a live stream, I don't usually have to do anything else after, and it just automatically does it. But I have been doing them like through YouTube before, so I hope so. I hope that it will kind of don't know whether to put that down the bottom or whether to kind of put it up. I think I'm going to put it down the bottom down here. And I'm going to get some other little bits and bobs for layering. So let's get a little box of journaling, some ephemera out. I use my like old journal boxes to keep like little bits and pieces of things like this because it's easy for them to get. I mean, you do end up with millions of things if you start collect, like I collect little bits out of magazines and things like that, and you do get a little bit. Someone might want a little bit of that black, perhaps as well. A bit of that. Anything else in here that I want? I want it to be kind of quite textural. And I have got this like little plate of, I've pulled out some washes I'm going to use for this spread. So I've kind of gone like a little bit floral, but in kind of like vintagey, muted kind of colours. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. I also pulled out some like stickers, some floral stickers, but also some of these like kind of like vintagey looking, and also just like some funny ones like this one, like the caffeinated. But it was good, like the color themes. I felt like the color story was still kind of coherent with what. And I've got a couple of Tombos, 990 and 772, which I'm going to use. And I probably will use a couple of other Tombos as well that I've been using in my, just like in this moon cycle in general. And this is why my plan with me's are a little bit, the monthly ones are a little bit different, I suppose, because I don't do my goal planning, as like lots of you here know, because you're in the membership. We do our goal planning with the moon cycle because that's more effective than doing it with like the arbitrary like human calendar cycle. So I don't do goal planning with this, but I do still like to kind of like check in with the month as well as the month. So that's the idea. I might use some of this over on this page as well. I'm going to try and like echo some of this over on the title page. And I think I'm going to cut out May, like cheat that rather than doing it with the brush pen, because this is really, I thought this was really pretty, this script. I'll cut it out, right? I will do it a little bit closer, like kind of fussy cut it a little bit. Hopefully it'll still peel off the sticker backing, because sometimes they don't. Probably use my smaller, better scissors maybe to. I'm just going in. It seems I am just going in. Yeah. So I know this is also a little bit like in advance for me, but like when I was looking at it, it's not that much, it's like the way that it falls, because May's starting on a Thursday, it's gonna sneak up on me otherwise, I thought. So I felt like this was actually quite a good time to be setting up, this up. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna keep it quite simple, she says, as she's layering up many different pieces. I am going to want to put some washi in amongst this as well. Yeah, maybe some of this as well. And this is a bit big, so I think I'm going to take this into two pieces, and I think I'll use some up here, and I might use some over here as well. I know this, like, I'm obviously not going to leave this long, like, flappy bit. That's what I kind of like about collage, is like how it kind of just takes on its own like kind of personality, like it's just evolved itself. It's almost like I find it kind of like a spiritual practice in itself. Yeah, okay, so then we want a little bit of this grounding black on this side as well. So I do want to have like a torn edge. Don't know if I need both edges torn. I think that might be okay, just to have that bottom one. Yeah, so these are obviously like kind of mostly decorational pages rather than functional pages, but how do I want that? Maybe there. It never all goes in the same place when you stick it down anyway, does it? Once you start like layering it up. Okay. I want to make sure the quote is still like popping out. I think this is actually looking better over here. So I think I might stick that one down. So I think that's pretty on point actually for how I want that side to look. I might add a little sticker or something at the bottom there. Yeah, so let's stick that. I'll try using this little glue thingy, but like I never have a lot of success with these, but I will try. Okay, so let's, yeah, see, they just like, why do they do that? Just doesn't seem to work. I'm gonna go back to my trusty glue stick because I keep having to like wind them back in all the time. I think maybe it is because I'm just buying like crap versions of them. Like, let me know. There's probably like better versions of them that you can get that I am not getting. So I kind of want that to overlap like that. So this one needs to go here next. These are really difficult to stick down because they're so thin, like little bits of almost like tissue. But I love the texture of it. So I find if you put the glue on the thing you're sticking it to rather than to that, it works out better. Yeah. Okay, so that can go there. So it's just like just very misshapen bits of stuff that I've just pulled out of my ephemera box. And yet when you start to put them together, it just, yeah, I think it's very cool how like collagey things do come together. I think I might put a little bit of washi or something. I don't know actually. I don't think it needs, I think it like a flower once that's done. So see if this will peel off the backing, okay. Sometimes once you've cut them, these things are not that easy to peel. So how's everyone feeling about, oh, thanks, Emily. Um, Emily saying the Tombow monotape runner. Yeah, I mean, I feel the same about the Tombow mono eraser, like rubber as we call them in the UK. It's just so like just better than lots of other versions of the same thing. So maybe I should try that then. Yeah, and double-sided tape. But double-sided tape's a bit of a faff, isn't it? She says as she's trying to like peel a sticker. Oh, just peel. Just peel. Yes, I gotcha. Okay. So I want to kind of like go through this part. There we go. May. And I want like a flower sticker, I think here. Something kind of, yeah, just subtle. Yeah, Tanya's in a Pritt stick or double-sided tape. Maybe I'll try the Tombow Mono, but I see people using them and like those glue tape things, and they seem to work. Might be a bit heavy-handed with it or something, I don't know. So that is kind of it for the title page, I think. I'm going to cut this off and I'm going to use a bit of the washi to reinforce the like tab part. So let's do that. It's kind of a shame to be doing this because this journal has got lovely gilding. But I'm going to move this first. I'm going to come back to that quote post in a minute. That wasn't quite taking shape as nicely as there. Okay. Do you need something up here? I don't know. Like I know really like it'd be better to leave some white space, but sometimes I think like more is more sometimes. I don't know. Let's see if another sticker is necessary or if that's just overkill. Hmm. Yeah, I think it's probably a bit. I don't know. I don't know. It could be good. I feel like if I do, I'm going to need to put a third one on because I find it weird putting things on in twos. So I'm probably going to want to like add another one down there maybe. I'm going to do that. Yeah, I think that's good. Or perhaps I should use some of these body. I feel like that's going to be tricky to layer up on there now. I'm going to stick with these. Yeah, I put six a glue stick. Oh, Emily said I've developed a system for double-sided tape where I use a compass to help peel it off. Ooh. Okay, so I might need to. I feel like maybe I've even seen you do that on a video, but yeah, I haven't got those skills just yet. So okay, I'm gonna add those on, and then I think that is almost done, apart from the okay. So I'm gonna use, I think this. No, I'm not. I'm gonna use this to reinforce this. Nice. I'll tidy that up, but I'm gonna get the scissors. Photos behind me, which you would have seen, but maybe in the other. He's on the beanbag behind me. Are you okay? He's making some funny noises though, so you might need to go out. I'll see in a bit now. I'll have to go and let him out. Yeah, yeah, he's sniffing at the door. I'll go and let him out, and I'll be right back. Oh no. He's still a little bit grumpy because we went away last week and we didn't take him, and he's like he's still a bit sulky about that. He had a nice time though. I have video evidence that he had a good time while we were away. Yeah, but just a little bit of this. Wasn't that? It's kind of a bit squiffy. It's a bit too see-through actually as well. But oh, that's okay. Yeah, so I feel like maybe I could even put something a little bit bigger, like maybe one of these sort of things. I don't know, that might be a bit extra. Yeah, there's a lot of this, like we've got the yeah, I'm gonna do it. Okay, right. So I might keep adding to that, and I'll definitely round those corners. Um, but that's looking okay for now. Let's go back to this quote page. Oh yeah, Lenica, yeah, I was using because I was trying to like be more like kind of environmentally conscious as well. Like obviously like using all these plastic things is kind of gross in lots of ways, but you know, compared to like how like big corporations and stuff are polluting things, it's not that much of a big deal. But which yeah, that I kind of chill myself out with that a little bit. But I was just finding that I was sticking a lot of things down, but yeah, like you, I find that it wrinkles and also like some papers, it's just not good for some papers. I'm going to go across here with this. I might take this onto here as well. Just kind of unify these pages a little bit. I think I'll use that pink, that like kind of see-through-y. This is really faded. You see where this has been in the sun. And then layer that on top. And we'll start building from there. Now the dog's barking to go out the back now, and hopefully somebody else will go and let him out there. Okay, so yeah, it's kind of like my own little washi there. Let's see, how is this going to work? Maybe I don't want that paper. Maybe that's a bit too much. Oh no, there is good. I wanted this a bit higher, so I might need to put something else. What about if I put it a little bit higher and then maybe put like one of those stickers there? I was kind of imagining it just being like in the middle of the page, but I think actually it's quite nice. Although, no, okay, I'm going to do it like that and stick that one down there. And like it never quite goes in the same place when you when you pick it up and put it back down again. So you just got to kind of hope that it's where you want it. Yeah, okay. I am going to put just like a little bit of washi in here. I'll run it out there actually. Do like a kind of straight across now. Yeah, and then I think it's just looking for something here. Okay, so let's stick this down. Yeah, because like lots of people don't do, like if you're doing a lot of collagey stuff, then having a good glue is really essential, isn't it? It's like makes such a difference to your journaling experience if you've got something that you can kind of rely on. I think I want one of these bigger, where's that gone? I think I want this. That'll be great. Just kind of there. So I'm going to get my little scissors and cut around that. So we haven't talked about any of the astrology yet, but we will do that once we get past this decorational things and into like the calendar and the thing. And I also, yeah, I'm excited to pull some cards as well. And that's kind of why I pulled out the Goddess of Love tarot as well. Like it's a very like how would you describe it? Like I was gonna say like sexy, but it's not really sexy, like kind of sexual, I suppose, or sexualized. I don't know. Which I don't mind actually. Like, you know, like I'm that's why I bought it, you know, for that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's cool, isn't it? I'm wondering about something to just anchor that, but I don't really want to go over the quote and I'd have to peel that back up and that's never going to work. So we're just going to go with this. But because I am working on that and like that's feeding into my Aries new moon goals as well, which is like kind of like physical activity goals, but also as like not fighting with my body, that whole like Venus and Aries vibes of like sometimes it can be a little bit too martial. So yeah, that's interesting. And also like it connects in with the goddess that we're working with in Moonwise as well, which is Bast. So, we've got that idea of pleasure as well, the pleasure of the body. So yeah. Sirens, and I heard art glitter glue, not glittery, and fabric tack will express and doesn't wrinkle or come off with time. Oh, okay. Yeah, because that's the other thing is that sometimes they do, don't they? They're like dry out, and then when you look at older journals, things just like drop out, which can be really annoying. So what do you think? Is that I feel like I might just need a little summon here. Yeah. That's better. That's like balancing it a little bit better on there then. I can peel these, gosh. I got worse at peeling stickers. Actually, it's probably since I started having my nails done, which I started because my daughter was having hers done. And now I get like gel nails done and I really love them, which is funny because like I was just not that sort of like into that kind of thing. So yeah, it's funny to me that that is the case now, but yeah, I think that's nice. Like, does that need something at the top? No, I feel like that we'll call that a day there. I will definitely round those corners. Let's move on to the calendar for May. So I think I'm going to use like the pink for this. And I've already marked out the days. It's starting on a Thursday, like I said, and then it does actually fit on, which is great because sometimes the months can be a little bit unwieldy. So I'm just going to go straight in because I've got the dots there already. Show me where to put the days. So I'm using a B5 journal. So it's a bit bigger than an A5. So I'm going for, I think it's like 7 across and 9 down is my grid. But yeah, you can adjust that for whatever size of journal that you're using. If you're doing your May setup, which you might not be. And now for just scratching to come back in now. So I might go and let him back in. Oh, thank you. I think my husband let him back in. So it's just like a really simple calendar layout. I know like I've seen a few people doing setups lately where they've made the calendar layout like smaller on the page so that there's more room for decoration. And like I've gone a bit far on these, but that's okay because I can cover that with washi anyway. But I want to be able to write stuff in the boxes. And I think if I do it too, like if I make it too small, then it gets tricky to fit everything in. Mm. So So I still, oh, I haven't gone across the bottom. Let's do that. So I still prefer to do it like this and have more writing space. Okay. So I'm gonna write the the dates in and the days. I think I'm just gonna use black for that actually. I've got like a black tumble. I'll use just the like the marker end. So just simple stretch out letters across the top of those. So I don't have long nails to peel with using tweezers, having long nails and stuff. I think there's like definitely a sweet spot, but I think it's actually the thickness of the like the gel adds to your fingernails, and so it makes them like a little bit too thick to be able to get underneath it and peel, which is a bit gross really, but like when I look at my hands now, I'm like, oh. Which yeah, it's funny to me because like I'd never thought that that would be something that I would, like want. So I'm just going to write these in, but like these would be nice if you like stamped them, or you could use a stencil if you had more time on your hands. There we go. So 31 days of May. And I think I'm just going to write May here across the top and do it in the black. It won't be as pretty as the cutout brush pen of the printout, but it'll be fine. So May. I think I sometimes put it in Welsh underneath, and I think I will do that as well. Okay, so I'm gonna put a flower or something here. So something kind of smallish. I'll cut that and stick it there. Okay. Yeah, nice. Okay, I'm gonna go down this side with washi as well. I think I will use this like floral, it's like rose one, which I don't know where I got this from. I've had this one quite a while. Oh, it's looking cute. It kind of looks like a little bit like chintzy, like old fashioned. But that's kind of, yeah, kind of the vibe that I'm obviously going for this month. So that's nice. Okay. And I want to put some down here as well. I was going to like write some stuff on here, but I think I'm just going to stick some stickers here actually instead. So I think I'm going to put a little bit of the pink here. Layer that on. Almost perfectly matches with the tombow, which is quite mad. I'm going to cut this edge off as well because I want my tad to stand out. Okay. But then I am going to put some tape here as well because I don't want to have this messy edge showing. Oh, froze, make up your mind. It's going in and out like a yo-yo. I think it's just when the door's shut, it's like, I don't want you to, I want to have the option of going in and out myself. But I shut the door so that it was a bit more peaceful. There. Oh, hey, Michelle. Yeah, I hope everyone is having a nice weekend. It's the bank holiday weekend here in the UK, but I think like, do you guys get like Easter Monday as a bank holiday, but not the Friday? Because like we get Friday, and then today is kind of like a normal day in a way because it's the Saturday, um and then like obviously Easter Sunday, Easter Monday. Then okay, I'm gonna put some of these. I really like this one with a juicy bun. So let's get in there. There's that. Yes, and I got some. Yeah, I might. I got these like more subtle background flower stickers, so I might use something like that. I want like round ones. Mm, this. It's got like a kind of slightly see-through background when you peel it off. When you peel the sticker off, which is what I'm after. I'll cut it out this side, it's not really working. I'll trim it once I've got it out. And I'll use another body here. I think normally like I feel like roses are more of a June thing, but I'm obviously going there with some of them for May this time. Maybe this. Just because it's kind of similar to the one I already have. There. Yeah, I have got a little space there, which I could leave as negative space, or I could cram something into it. The and you all know which options. Okay, so Michelle's saying there's no holidays for Easter in the US. Wow, so that's interesting, isn't it? Because like you guys do get Christmas, don't you? So yeah, like I kind of prefer it that way, I suppose, because obviously having Christian holidays is a bit strange. Although, yeah, I don't really sort of relate to it as a Christian holiday. But yeah, it's funny how like you get some, but not others. Oh, Michelle's asking these similar spreads to the moonwise. So these are like my monthly spreads. So like they're not going with the moon cycle, they're actually just like the month. So this is like my May calendar, and I'm going to put the some of the astrology transits on here. And I like to put the full moon and the new moon, but I do use this like as an actual calendar as well, so that I put on like appointments and things that are happening, like not every single thing, like not the regular things, but if there's something out of the ordinary that's happening on that day, I write that down on here. So I've lost my rubber now. It's gonna be buried somewhere under all of this stuff. Um, so yeah, I thought it'd be like I've been doing these, like this is my one for April. Um, but I wanted to kind of like expand my monthly spread, but just a little bit, just to keep it kind of useful, but not so that like not so this duplicating any of the stuff that I do in my monthlies. It's kind of I feel like it's part of like it definitely fits in with that. It doesn't have to be like one or the other of them. I think they actually go together really well. I suppose it's another example of like me doing my kind of like magical and mundane planning together. Like it just kind of makes sense together for me. There's also many private businesses closed, businesses only Sunday, they don't push it. Okay, yes. Yeah, and I mean that should be the case, shouldn't it? That there should be other holidays as well for different religions, like but I think people here just tend not to complain because they're happy that they're having a day off. I'm gonna let Frodo back out because he's still snuffling at the door. Go on, Frodo. Oh dear. Yeah, it's been a bit unsettled since we've been back. Still hasn't quite softened into himself yet. So I'm gonna put the full moon and new moon on here. I don't do all of the moon phases because that is kind of like that is the function of our field note spread that we do in Moonwise. So I'm not going to just like repeat that. I'm going to just put the new moons and full moon on here. And then I'm going to add in some of the other astrological stuff that is going on. So I want to use like a pale, I'm going to use this grey for that. So let's have a look. So the full moon is on the 12th. I'm just going to do that as a also because that's a Scorpio full moon. And then the new moon is on the 27th. And that's our Gemini full moon, new moon at the end of the month, set, kicking off Gemini month. So I will put on there, what pen am I going to use for that? I think I'm going to use this like a light pen for putting in the other astrological stuff. So I'm going to just put Scorpio in here. In fact, I'm going to put the full moon next to it as well. And then I'm going to put a new moon and Gemini here. And then on the astrology forecast that I've written, which like I said was linked. Oh, actually I can put that in the chat. Let me copy and paste that into the chat. I can go back to the chat. It's like I've lost you. I've lost you. Oh no, hang on. I got it. I've got it. Okay. Let me move that up a bit. Okay. Second, let me paste. Yeah. Okay. So I've just pasted the link to the astrology forecast, which has got like a breakdown of the transit. So to be honest, like we've had a couple of really intense months. We've had March was a lot, and now we're in April, which has been a lot about kind of consolidating some of those themes from March, and still with this like some shifts of its own as well. And then we're going into May, and the very beginning of May is still like a finishing off of some of the stuff that's been happening in March and April, but we are getting that into kind of like different. We're leaving some of that stuff behind as well, even though there are some like longer term influences, like with Neptune going into Aries, and with Saturn is going to be going into Aries as well. So we've still got that activation that I've been talking about, it feels like for ages, on that Aries Pisces like cusp. But like we've got Venus and Mars and Mercury all clearing their retrograde shadows in May. I think it's going to feel a bit different. There will definitely be other things that we'll be working on that will be coming up, but the overall energy, and like I just find the Taurus moon energy anyway is like it just has that more grounded feel, even with like Uranus there. But Uranus is going to be leaving Taurus as well, soonish. So yeah, there's a lot of there's some new energy. There's some new energy as we're moving into this month. So let's have a look. What am I going to put on here? On the second, we've got the North Node in Pisces, sextile Uranus in Taurus. I don't think I'm going to put that on there. I think I may not put sextiles on here at all unless they're like personally relevant ones. I do sometimes put some of my own personal astrology, but I don't want to like completely duplicate this because I use my honeycomb planner anyway. So it's more like for me from a, I suppose from a planning perspective, the stuff that I'm going to like be taking more note of in a long term thing that I like to have a note of. So Venus conjunct Saturn in Aries, I'm definitely going to put that on. So I've got Venus, so that's on the 2nd. So I'm just going to use the symbols and I'm just going to put them at the top. So I'm going to have Venus here and conjunct Saturn in Aries. So I'm just going to make a note of that. That's happening on the 2nd. And Mars also clears retrograde shadow that day. I know that's kind of happening at the beginning of May anyway, so I'm not going to put that down. Pluto retrograde though, I'm going to put that. So I'm just going to note those things down. So like what would be good to do is like if you're working with a particular planet, like if it's your time lord, or if you're doing remediation or something with the planet, you might want to pay particular notice of that, or you may want to put the moons going through the moons like this. But it's more like, for me, it's more about picking out the things that are kind of like more impactful. Like we can go on Mercury in Aries, sextile Jupiter in Gemini. I'm not going to put that down. Venus in Aries, sextile Pluto in Aquarius. I'm not going to do that. I am going to put Mercury entering Taurus, like the ingresses. I do find that they are more noticeable, more impactful. So I'm going to put that down. So on the 10th, I've got Mercury going in to Taurus. Now, Mercury and Taurus, like Taurus is a bit slow for Mercury. It prefers like a much quicker speed. And so sometimes it can be a little bit frustrating for Mercury and Taurus, but I also tend to find that it can be quite soothing as well, because it's like we need to kind of slow down, and especially like after the retrograde. I feel like it's going to be like a nice slow down after the Mercury retrograde to be able to have that more grounded, like grounding our words into actions, kind of like doing what we say, speaking our will and doing it kind of thing with that Taurus, Mercury ingressing into Taurus there. What else have we got? Mercury in Taurus squaring Pluto in Aquarius, and the full moon in Scorpio on the 12th. So yeah, I mean that's a big deal. I probably should have put the Mercury in Taurus, but I'll look at that lunation, and like I'll be making a video for you guys separately for that as well, for the people in the membership, for what's happening on that full moon. Going into more detail about the specific full moon. And I have got the full moon guide as well, so like what full moon in Scorpio means as well, which is available. Sun in Taurus, sextile North Node in Pisces. I mean, that's quite an interesting one. The Taurus Sun sextiling the North Node. So, it's like a kind of a day that's on the 16th. And so that's when like we might find like a moment of like alignment as well, like where we kind of having aligned action with our spiritual, like we're taking aligned spiritual action on that day potentially. And around that day, like these transits are not like kind of like in the second they're done. A lot of them, especially with the slow moving planets, they like ease in and ease back out. And talking of easing out, on the 16th, that's also the day that Venus clears her retrograde shadow. On the 18th, we've got the Sun conjunct Uranus in Taurus, and that is happening at 27 Taurus on Algol, on that fixed star Algol as well. So I think that is going to be particularly impactful. So I'm definitely going to make a note of that. So I'm going to put Sun conjunct Uranus in Taurus. And on that same day as well, we also got Mercury squaring Mars and Jupiter squaring the North Node, which, there's a lot happening on that day. So I think I'm just going to put like a little asterisk, because that's a busy day. The 18th, that's probably going to feel like quite an impactful day in the month, And then on the 20th, we've got the Sun moving into Gemini. So that's when Gemini season begins. I know we've got some Geminis here. And it's like the glyphs don't mean anything to you either. I've made like a printout as well of the symbols that we use in astrology. So you can just do it small like that rather than having to like write the whole thing out. So on the 20th, we've got the Sun entering Gemini. We've got the Sun in Taurus. Just before it leaves Gemini, it's going to be making a sextile to Saturn in Pisces. So they've got this like kind of supportive, structuring energy, and then a more kind of playful energy as the Sun enters Gemini. And to be honest, for that last week of May, I feel like there is going to be more playful energy, although we have still got some kind of bigger stuff going on as well. But there's a lot of Mercury stuff going on towards the end of the month, and I think that does tend to make us feel a little bit more playful as well. and like busy as well, like kind of chatty and wanting to kind of like know about things, even nosy, I suppose, as well. Uh, okay, what else have we got? So on the 22nd, we've got Venus trine Mars. That could be quite an interesting one. I might put that down. Yeah, Venus trine Mars is happening on the 22nd. And like I'll give a breakdown of these. Like if you're signed up for Moonday Magic Mail, then I break these down and give little write-ups for each of these individual things as we go through, because I think it's quite hard to digest. Sometimes it's like, here's the month, boom, you know. Whereas having it like a week at a time, I think you can kind of sort of see how you're feeling these transits, like because we all do feel them differently depending on our personal astrology as well. What else have we got? 23rd, we've got Mercury sextile North Node in Pisces. I'm not going to put that one down. The 24th, we've got Sun in Gemini trine Pluto. I am going to put that one. So Sun in Gemini trine Pluto in Aquarius. So we've got like an air trine happening between the Sun and Pluto. And that on the 25th, then we've got Mercury conjunct Uranus in that same place as this. So like that's kind of like activating that algol area, that end of Taurus area. But we've also on that day, we've got Saturn entering Aries, which is like the big story of that day. So I'm going to put that, but I'm also going to put a little asterisk as well to get like remind me that there's a lot going on on that day. Then the 26th, we've got Mercury going into its home sign of Gemini. So that is going to go on there, Mercury into Gemini. And then, you know, Mercury's got even more free reign then. It hasn't got that slow and steady of Taurus. It's got free reign to kind of do its thing once it gets into its home sign of Gemini. And then on the 27th, we've got the Gemini new moon. We've also got Mercury trining Pluto. I'm not going to put that on just because I've already put the new moon on there and it's going to like fill it up a little bit too much, but that's something to take note of. And then on the 30th, that's a really interesting, we've got the Sun, Mercury, Cazimi. So that means the Sun and Mercury are in a conjunction in Gemini. So in Mercury's own sign, it's like Mercury's been like reborn in its own sign of Gemini on the 30th. Is actually happening like pretty much on my natal sun as well. So that is going to be really impactful for me personally. So I'm definitely going to take note of that. So Sun, Mercury conjunction at 9 Gemini. So I haven't like noted these in the exact like in like a particularly structured way, but I will see that and I'll understand like what that means. And then I can see like when I'm planning my month, like what I'm doing, I can see that stuff and I can take that into account when I'm planning, which might seem like if you're just beginning in astrology, that's probably like too much. But it's interesting to just track it and see, you know, like see how you're feeling these things, see how you're interacting with these things. Sorry, I've missed the chat now. So hopefully there's Emily's saying so ready for Taurus sun season and Taurus moon. Last year it was my favorite moon. Yeah, I love Taurus season. I think it's just so grounding. Even with Uranus being there, like Uranus has been there for quite a while there now, you know, years now, and it's still really grounding and nourishing. Oh, no worries, Michelle. Bye. Uh, yeah, they said, guess that's why I married a Taurus. Love the vibes. Yeah. Oh, Liz, which day are you saying not leaving your house that day? Do you mean this on the 18th? That is going to be quite a lot, that which I know is like right on your ascendant as well, isn't it? Right on. So yeah, that's going to be an interesting one. Oh, Lenica's dinner's ready. Enjoy your dinner. Enjoy your dinner, Lenica. So yeah, like overall, I've put some like overall kind of themes for on the 18th, Liz. Yeah. I like that. Wouldn't that be a really interesting day, I think, for you to make some like more personal magic as well? Because like it's your ascendant, it could be a real like maybe something even like the headless rite, you know, like I know that's a bit Aleister Crowley, a bit ceremonial magic of me, but that like when you've got something on algol, which is to do with kind of like losing your head or wounding your head, you know, I think the headless rite could be really interesting, especially when it's, you know, like it's picking up the sun, it's picking up that Taurus ascendant as well. Yeah, like you probably won't get like specific, like you won't be able to say, I want these specific results and just achieve those specific results. But I think it could be quite a potent day to do some potent magic. Yeah, I might even put in headless right. I'm gonna put that in because even though it's not as impactful for me where it's falling, although it is quite because my moon is also there, um, like a couple of degrees away from there, not exactly on it like yours, but it's like that could be something to think about. Um, yeah, so let's have a look. I put some of the themes as well, like kind of yeah, so like I said, the month is kind of beginning with more like integration of the stuff that's been happening, but we've also got the opportunity to have more like movement forward now because we've got, like I said, we're clearing those shadows of those retrograde periods. It's sort of like we can finally like let go of some of the stuff that we've still been like, there's still almost like had its like hands on us, like hasn't quite let go of us. And now as we go into May, we can be like finally like draw a line under some of these things. So yeah, like on May the 2nd, we've got Mars clearing its retrograde shadow. um, we've got that Pluto station in retrograde, which is kind of like taking the, like it does emphasize Pluto, but it also gives us a chance to kind of like slow down some of that Pluto stuff as well, like that kind of shadow work stuff that can come with Pluto, especially when Pluto's shifting into a new sign as well. So that's interesting. What did I put as a suggestion? Honor where you've been by committing to what's truly changed. Yeah, there's that element of commitment as well with Venus and Saturn having a connection as well. It's like we've got the opportunity to commit to some. We're not the same people, as we were going back before the end of like before April, before the fall last year, before autumn last year. We've changed a lot, but we haven't had a lot of chance to like integrate. Like this month has been about integration, it is about integration, but we we haven't quite realized the fullness of ourselves, of what we've changed, and so we've got the opportunity to kind of commit to that in May now, which I think is really exciting. We've got that full moon in Scorpio, and I put like let it die so something else can be born. So there's a lot of really strong release work around that full moon. So it could be a really good moon, like it's not an eclipse or anything, so it'd be a really good moon for doing some sort of release ritual, perhaps like a water ritual, something like that, bringing in that Scorpio watery energy. And then yeah, on May the 25th, we got that Saturn entering Aries, which is a big deal, like there is going to be a retrograde that happens, but this is giving us like a kind of, it's a landmark moment when Saturn, because it takes like a couple of years in each sign. So when Saturn moves into a new sign, we definitely feel that shift. It can feel slow because Saturn's not the fastest of planets, but we do kind of feel that shift in, like when we think of Saturn in Pisces. Saturn in Pisces is like we've got that watery element of like of Pisces, and then that very concrete, hard element of Saturn. And it's just like difficult for those things to work together. Whereas the hard and the fiery can be a little bit more, well, definitely more active. It's more active. So we can start kind of like building, instead of being in that kind of like dreaming realm of Pisces, we can get to like building some work, building on our creative work when we've got Saturn in Aries. And like I know on the Astrology podcast, Take a Shot, Austin's been talking about this and how like, it has been linked in the past to like wars and things like that, because there is that, you know, it's giving like Saturn planning and organization to kind of like a more feisty cardinal fire sign of Aries. It can make people more likely to go for what they want, kind of stuff, but that that's not the only read for it, and as individuals we can kind of work with this stuff ourselves. So I'm quite excited about Saturn entering Aries, and you can look at like where that's falling in your personal chart as well to see like what area of your life that is going to kind of highlight for you. And I've included horoscopes at the end of this, like I've been doing for a few months now as well, so that you can kind of see what's coming up. Hang on, I'll jump back in the chat because I'm looking at this. And what's the head? That's right. And Tanya says an album according to Google. That's interesting. Yeah, the head is right. Is a right that Aleister Crowley which is in one of the grimoires. I'll put some more information about it in the Discord in case you're interested, because it's quite a it's one like when I was first getting into like kind of ceremonial magic quite a long time ago now. Like you kind of go through the phases sometimes. I like did the kind of Wicca stuff and the ceremonial magic stuff. But it's one that actually has stuck around for me a little bit. So like, it is a ceremonial magic, right? So it is a little bit weird. Yeah. Um, but yeah, worth having a look at. Let's go back to the forecast then, because I can see there's not too many other questions. And then yeah, I've got like Mercury's playtime. There's definitely like a lot of this mercurial action, and like it kind of culminates with that Sun Mercury, well, maybe not even culminates, but like has this like middle moment of that Sun Mercury cazimi that's happening on the 30th, and then like Mercury's going to get reborn again after that with even more kind of like excitement and clarity as we go into June, which is also is Gemini season, isn't it? So we're in that kind of mercurial season, which is really exciting. But yeah, from like there's a very big contrast I find from when Mercury is in Taurus, and then when Mercury, so from the 10th to the 20th, when Mercury is in Taurus, there's communication tends to slow down a little bit. Gives us a bit of breathing space, which we'll probably need before Mercury goes into Gemini, and then we've got the Sun going into Gemini, and then Mercury going into Gemini on the 26th. So Sun goes into Gemini on the 20th, Mercury goes into Gemini on the 26th. So it's like people are kind of going in to Gemini, and I say people, the planets are going into Gemini and activating that kind of more sparky kind of air energy. So if you have that in your chart, you might even be even more all the ideas, all the hand gestures, all the art and creative stuff, as is going into that. And yeah, an opportunity on the 30th as well for like a rebirth around that part of your chart as well. So wherever that's falling for you, that's an interesting one to look at. And yeah, just in general, that shift from Taurus, like planets in Taurus, like the Sun and Mercury in Taurus, and then moving into Gemini, there's that shift that is coming as well. Okay, and I've got some key questions and some horoscopes, but I'm actually going to use those in the next spread. So I'm going to turn over now, and I'm going to cut this first so I don't forget to do that. And I was printing out the page from my honeycomb for this, but I haven't done that now for the last couple of months, or maybe just the last month. And I haven't missed it because I've got it in my honeycomb anyway. So it's like, why am I? Let me show you what I mean. I know some of you know already. It's this page, which is like kind of the month at a glance, which it gives you all the transits, it gives you the ingresses, it gives you your own kind of personal astrology with the outer planets, and then as you go through, you can see like the ones in blue are your personal, like impactful things that are happening. And I love this, but I've got it here, and so I wasn't feeling like I needed that. So I'm going to slightly alter this spread. So I'm going to make it still like cards and astrology, and I'm going to pull some cards for us now as well, but kind of condense it down really into just this kind of like two-page spread. So what color should I use? I think I'll use this pink again to write May. Maybe I'll cut, actually. I'm going to cut out this. Let's use some of the sticker sheets. No, I made it. I may as well use it. And I cut this out. There. That's quite a good size for that. Just want to get back in the chat so I can see if you guys are saying anything. Yeah, Siren's saying what I'm reading is weird. It is weird. And there's like in the law, they say like that Crowley did it inside one of the pyramids, and like yeah, there's a lot of lore around it. And yes, connected to chaos. Like it's almost like that's the whole point of it kind of being like the headless, right? It's like you kind of like lose your identity and start again, which, you know, yeah, it's like that's not for everyone and completely fair enough if that's the case. Um, let's, I think I'm going to put like a strip of washi behind this. I think I'm not just use the pink, just do a strip of pink behind here. I am going to be taking it over here, so maybe I will pick that washi across onto that page as well. So that would make sense. Okay, nice. I've got my May there, which I will stick on. In fact, I might put it to the side a little bit more because I'm going to write cards and astro. That's the only thing when you don't letter it yourself. You've got a little less. Do you know what? I think I want something here. Maybe I'll use one of those flower stickers that I made. They're a bit light. They haven't come out quite as dark as I wanted them to. Let's see what they've got in here. I'll take this. I'll take this. Yeah, headless right, not something that you would do willy-nilly necessarily. I just kind of mentioned it because, you know, with it being on alcohol, it just seems like it could be something quite potent. So yeah, that is cute. Let's do that. I don't know what time it is actually. How are we doing? Oh my gosh, it's like 20 past 6. So yeah, although I was a bit slow starting because of the problems with the stream, but I think this new format might be just a little bit longer. So it might not be actually once I get into the swing of it. Oh yeah, Tanya's got to go. Let's catch up with you soon. Lay that over there like that. And I'm going to write cards and astro. I'm going to put it here actually. Because the idea is that I'm going to use these 2 pages for that. So I'll work out quite well. Yeah, how am I going to do it? I think I want to put like the picture down the bottom here. So I'm gonna be using yeah. So I'm going to be printing out, I'm going to take a photograph of the cards and I'll print them out on and include them here. So I'm just going to make like a little area down here for that, where it can kind of layer up nice and the picture can go in, because otherwise I won't have room for that. So yeah, that's going to go. So when I print out the picture, that'll go down there on the bottom. So maybe I will actually like pencil around that so that I don't write over that area. Although I don't think I am going to fill it in now. I think I'll probably fill it in afterwards by myself, but I will pull the cards and do like the reading for everybody. I'll do it lightly in this, I think. There. So I know that that's going to go there. And then, yeah, I'm going to use the rest of the space to just write, and I'm going to put reflections. I wanted to have a space where I could like look back on the month. And so that is what this space is going to be down the bottom. So this is kind of like an active spread. Like I will be checking back in on this. I wanted somewhere like specifically for like my month reflections. I think I might put a little sticker or something down here. Yeah, just as something to ground it on this edge as well. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, if you wanted to do a setup similar to this, then you could use some of the things that I've included on the printout, but like you don't have to do it like this. Obviously, you can do it however makes sense for you. So for the cards, like I said, I'm going to use this deck. Scholars of Love Tarot, which I said like is kind of it is sexual. It says a book and deck for embodying the erotic divine feminine. So that might not be for you. In which case maybe you might not want to watch this part, although hopefully it'll be a good reading. And I'm going to use the prompts from oh no, is the sound gone, Siren, or can you hear me? Oh no. Yeah, it hasn't been super successful doing the stream. Maybe I will just have to stream on my phone next time and I'll do it just straight like that and that'll work. But it means I can't kind of put me in as well, which is what I was hoping to be able to like chat with you and also journal, but I think that might not be possible. I'm gonna need to find a way of doing that. Oops. Nine of Wands jumping out with lots of roses on it. So can you guys still hear me or let's type that in case you can't because because otherwise then that is I'll get Emily saying that she can hear. Okay. Also, I suppose they go really well. So let me get the prompt. So I'm taking these off the forecast page as well. So I'm going to use these. I put them in as divination journal prompts. So what clarities begin to emerge now that Mercury and Mars have cleared their retrogrades? It's Venus, Mercury and Mars are going to be clearing their retrogrades. So it's more like what clarity is emerging, I suppose, is going to be the first question. So I'm going to write that down. Do you know, I think I might not do it in black. I think I might use this like more just kind of sepia tone that I've been using. So the first question is, what clarity is emerging after the retrogrades? Because like with all the and like retrograde shadows as well, with all three of the personal planets, apart from the sun and moon because they don't retrograde, but like the three ones that can retrograde have been retrograding in their shadow period. So that's quite a big deal, that is coming. So I want to see like what clarity is coming out after that now. And then two, I think I'll put it here. It's always hard to kind of like estimate this, isn't it? Where am I ready to take bolder action? Is there something that needs to be left behind first? So where am I ready to take action? I'm going to put. And then three. How can I integrate the dreams and insights of recent months into grounded, meaningful steps? We have got Saturn going into Aries here as well, and we are in Taurus season, so we've got that grounded and also like the idea of making progress as well. So, how can I integrate? I'm going to just put like my new sense of self and take action from there. And then four, I put here. What does discipline mean to me now that Saturn is in Aries? So Saturn isn't going into Aries till later on, but I think I'm still going to put like what does discipline mean to me? So I think I am going to still put that in. Okay, let me get back to the chat now. I've got my questions. Oh, okay. Hi, Malena. Nice to see you. Okay, so I'm going to take 4 cards for these prompts. And that's weird about the shuffling, but maybe next time I'll try. I've got like a little mic thing as well, but I'm never like really sure how to use it. Okay. Okay. Oh, something's beeping now. What is beeping? I have no idea. Hopefully not my meeting on Zoom. Let me have a look. No, I think it's still okay, hopefully. Oh my gosh. So hopefully the beeping didn't happen for you, but oh great. Oh my gosh, look, headless right. Why is this stuff coming up? So, and we have got the Scorpio full moon as well. So like that makes total sense with this death card. But it's like look at all these heads, and like this is obviously very Kali coded with the like the necessity of discarding things. I mean, this is very much like feeding into that Scorpio full moon energy, but also the fact that we talked about the headless right, and then we've got that activations. We have got activations happening on Algol as well. So, death and rebirth. Like, what clarity is emerging? The clarity that is emerging is that we have to realize that we are not who we thought we were, or we're not who we were before all this stuff. We are coming out of this, like I was saying, different from who we were before, how we were before. So it's really important that we, yes, acknowledge our past. It's not like a complete like cut off from the past, but there is a severing that is happening now. There is a change. There is a new thing has to emerge now. And I think around that Scorpio full moon and with those Algol activations, that is very like, I don't know why it amazes me every time, but it still does. Can you guys like I'm just gonna put, are you still here in the chat, because I feel like I'm like hopefully it's still working okay, but after those beeps they kind of threw me off a little bit, so I'm a little bit discombobulated, but hopefully, I think this is like the second time I've said that in this chat as well. So where am I ready to take action? Ace of Cups. Wow. Okay, we've got Venus on here as well, and like that's one of the things I like about this deck as well, is that Simon says, I'm not sure if that card synchronicity is fantastically cool or really creepy. Is both, isn't it? And like it's just so like I find it so wild when people say that this stuff is bullshit, because then like when you get things like that, it's like, how can you like, that just doesn't make sense. So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, one of the things I like about this deck is that it has got the astrological correspondences on this, and we've got Venus here with roses, like I've been using roses in this spread. With our swan as well, which is kind of harkening back to Sarasvati that we've been working with as well in that last cycle, with that water element. We have got that watery full moon, and we have still got our North Node in Pisces as well, so we have got that as well. But with the Ace of Cups, where am I ready to take action? It's a fresh start, isn't it? It's like literally an emotional fresh start. Yes, this is very much Kali with that death card for sure. But we are ready now. We're ready to take action on that emotional fresh start. And like the other part of that question was like, what do I need to leave behind now? And sometimes like when we're moving to the ace, they're like mini fool's journeys, aren't they? It's like we have to take a leap now. We have to kind of like step outside of our comfort zone a little bit in order to do that. So Yeah, it's a nice way though, ready to take action. Like I think if the death card had come out as the action card, then I think that is that's harsher, isn't it? That's harder. And how can I integrate my new sense of self and take action from there? Oh wow. And we've got this Queen of Cups. And look, this is so much relating in like my theme for this setup, for this month, I should say, sorry, is like that idea of embodied. What was the quote? Let's go back to the quote. The body is not an apology. It is the altar of your becoming. And this is it. I integrate my new sense of self and take action from within my body. And look how like it's a weird body, you know, like she's got this flower head, which, you know, that's what I've been using as the imagery, is these like flower body images. But also like the wings, the nakedness of it is like we kind of need to be stripped back, but also we can fly, we can go much further, we also got these like symbols of sovereignty here as well, you know, again keeping with this cups energy. There's like an emotional rebirth and also like heading towards more of an emotional maturity, like being at peace in my own skin, feeling great in my body. My body is not an apology, it is an altar. And that is just like, oh my gosh. Yeah. And while I'm saying death is water too. Yeah. You know, like just water shooshing all over everything here. Yeah. Yeah. It's wild. I'll share these cards in the Discord as well after. I'll take a photograph of these and put them in the Discord as well. And then what does discipline mean to me? So this might be something a bit different. Yes, it is something a bit different. So we've got all our water here. And then this one is more our Saturn moving into Aries card. And we've got the 10 of Pentacles. We've got this gorgeous like snake climbing up here. Again, around this image of Venus, you know. We've got that kind of grounded earthiness, that kind of idea of working on our health, working on our finances, doing the very Saturn, you know, like on this card often there's like many generations of people like in the Rider-Waite, and that idea of like longevity is so Saturn coded. So it's so funny that that has come out for that, you know, that idea of discipline. It is working hard. For me, discipline means working on something that is valuable to me, that is important to me, and that has longevity. You know, it's not like a kind of flash in the pan. Um, yeah, yeah, I love that. And there's probably like more to say about those cards, so we can talk about those a little bit more over in Discord as well. But I'm just really mindful that this has already been really long. So I want to just move on to this, which is only like a little short piece. This is going to be looking at I'm going to be looking at like a my astrology here. So I'm going to use some of these stickers for this. I haven't like I feel like I haven't used very much of these things at all. So maybe I will go back in and kind of like cut some of these things out and use them. But I knew I wanted to use these because these are the words that I've been putting on to the horoscope. So like I said, I put the link in the chat, but I'll also update the description with the link for this as well, because I ended up in the wrong live stream because it wouldn't let me stream in the one that I'd set up. So I'm going to put my themes of the month, the key dates, which I will take from my horoscope on my blog, but I'm also going to add some of the personal ones from my honeycomb, and then the invitation. So I'm going to include those pieces there. I feel like I might want to put, I think I might put a little strip of something here as well. Something prettier. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to put this here, the themes. And like for me, because I'm Libra rising, Emily said, I'm enjoying the journal marathon. Keep on going. Yeah. I know that's the thing with journaling, isn't it? It's like once you get stuck into it, it does, you know, you want to kind of be, um, you know, you get involved in it. Yep. Okay. And then key dates. and then the invitation. And I'm going to leave like a little bit of space under the key dates as well. But yeah, I'm going to take this for mine as a Libra rising. And you guys can take it for you as whatever rising you are. So I'm going to have a little look. I'll read mine to you. So I'm going to scroll down to the horoscopes at the bottom. And I'm going down to Libra. So for me, the themes of this month are values. I've got that Scorpio full moon in my second house. Confidence, which is really interesting because that's something that I've been working on this year in general, and purpose. So I'm going to write those in. What should I use for that? I think this. So values, confidence, and purpose. Okay, and then key dates, I'll probably put those in like a smaller pen. In fact, I think I'll write those in myself because I want to like kind of put them in order, and I might want to include some other dates that aren't included. But in the horoscope, I've got the Scorpio full moon shines a light on money and self-worth. You know, that's also linking in with that Saturn, that discipline card there, the Ten of Pentacles. The Venus trine Mars on the 22nd. And then the new moon in Gemini. But I'm going to definitely want to be noting down that Mercury Sun Cazimi that is happening on my natal sun as well. That's going to be going in my list of key dates. And then the invitation for me for this month: choose depth over approval. Relationships become more meaningful when you stop trying to please. And this is something that I've literally been working on for about 3 years now. So that's interesting, and perhaps is going to be a big pivoting, like a turning point, especially like, you know, when this death card is coming out in this month. So I'd be interested to know like how that lands for you, how you'll be feeling it. Like, yeah, my idea is basically to just fill this in. I'll fill obviously this in, not on camera, and then I'm going to come back then through the month and do some reflecting here. So let's just move those cards for a second, and I'll flick through what I've set up. Let me get back on the chat so I can see you guys as well. So, oh look, that's what I did for my trip to Ireland that we just come back on as well. So yeah, this is what we've been doing. So I've got my quote, which I love, title page, then the May calendar, which is like very simple at the moment, but I will be adding more like you know, stuff, dates and things into that. And I think I probably will stick a little sticker in there as well. And then the May cards and Astro. So I will fill this in and I'll stick a picture of the cards down here. And then fill this in as well, values, confidence. So it's only 3 spreads, and it's taken like an hour and a half, more than that maybe now. Yeah. So yeah, thank you so much for hanging out with me while we do this. And sorry about the kind of kerfuffle at the beginning while we were we were doing it. Oh, Liz said I came in halfway through, so I'm glad you're still alive. Oh, I'm glad you managed to join us, Liz, as well. Yeah, Marlena also Libra rising. So yeah, I don't know how you feel in those themes. Like, do you think those themes are resonant for you going into this next month? Emily said this is my perfect Saturday evening activity. Oh, thanks, Emily. Yeah, I'm going to go and have a nice cup of tea now, and then I'll probably go back into the Discord and put the pictures of the cards and everything in there and catch up with anyone who wants to be over there chatting. I'll share a link to the Discord now quickly, actually, in case anyone is not there already. Oh my gosh, people have been tagging me. So, because I did have all this linked in the description. but that was not meant to be. So yeah, thank you all for hanging out, and I hope that you, like, if you have been setting up your journals as well, then please do share photos either in the Discord, or if you do them on like Instagram or something, then tag me so I can see, because I'm nosy. Warmest blessings, guys, and I will see you very soon. And now I need to figure out how to actually stop this stream, and next time I might try a different format so that it doesn't isn't so weird.